I've got 5 vocal tips that will change your voice immediately. That's it. There are tons more, of course, but these are a few of the ones that will create an almost immediate change in the way you hear your voice, the way you produce your sound, what your voice does. Hello, I'm Onyie, and I've been teaching private voice on and off for a little over 18 years. Let's get to what we're here for. All right, so tip number 1. Breathe from below your diaphragm. So what is the diaphragm actually? It is a dome-shaped muscle between your abdominal cavity and your chest cavity that separates the two. This is the diaphragm, and this is what happens when you inhale and exhale as you use your diaphragm. Most often when you're talking to anyone about taking a deep breath for singing, we think diaphragm, breathe from your diaphragm. But why I say breathe from below your belly button is because of my experience both as a personal trainer and as a teacher, understanding the anatomy of the body and the anatomy of breath. In order to get everything that you use, all the mechanics of breath involved, you want to make sure that you're breathing from below the belly button. Again, we want to think deeper than the diaphragm, below the belly button breath. And in order to get good at taking that below the belly button breath, we have to practice. You're going to hear this theme throughout the video. We want to get the muscle memory of taking breaths this way so that we don't have to think about it every time we want to take a breath to sing. And this is always the aim when it comes to any technique with singing, is to get the muscle memory of that technique so we can throw away the thought of the technique and just sing with freedom and joy and expression. Now, tip number 2, get your tongue out of the way. Now, I'm sure if you've watched some of my other videos or you're following my TikTok, you've heard me talk about the tongue quite a bit because tongue tension affects the voice so deeply and changes the voice so immediately that if you get a hold of this issue, you will see and hear a difference relatively immediately. We want to make sure that our tongue is relaxed whenever we're using it as we sing. Tongue tension can actually change the quality of the tone of your voice as well as make it more difficult to control. More often than not, we use tongue tension to control the voice. You hear something in your voice and the vocal quality that you're producing, and you think, I don't like the sound I'm hearing. I'm going to maneuver my voice to sound different. And the way we do that usually is by moving the tongue around. What we want to make sure that we do actually is let the tongue rest. She should sleep in her bed, and the tongue's bed is the bed of your mouth, with the tip of your tongue touching the back of your bottom teeth. And that's it. That's where your tongue should live. The only time your tongue should be moving is to create consonants. If I'm going from ah, oftentimes you'll see your tongue start to kind of dart around as you go from one pitch to the next. We should not be seeing that. Ah should not be affected by your tongue's movement. As you move from one pitch to another, the only thing that allows that to happen is your muscles, the actual vocal folds moving, and the breath, allowing the vocal folds to move with ease. That is it. The tongue stays still. This is yet another opportunity for you to practice, and you want to make sure that you're practicing this in the mirror. More often than not, any of these things that are physical changes where you're going to be doing something different than you're used to, you want to do it in front of a mirror because we cannot trust ourselves to feel it correctly. Like I can't just assume that my tongue is staying still because it feels like it is. I wouldn't know yet. I'm so used to it darting around that darting around feels still to me. The best thing I can do is go into a mirror and check. And am I seeing it move as I'm going from one pitch to another? Am I seeing it move back as I start to inhale? Anything that it's doing, just keep an eye on it. And as you're practicing, stay in the mirror and be honest and see what you do naturally. And then you can start to work on getting her to stay still and starting to understand what that sounds like. It will feel different. It will sound different. And if it sounds incredibly different, then there's a good chance that for a very long time, you've been singing with tongue tension as your normal. And we want to change that normal. One of the great ways to practice is just singing through those vowels. Ah, eh, e, o, ooh. All those kinds of vowels, and just making sure that tongue does not go anywhere. And for the third tip, we want to keep our jaw relaxed as well. Another tension that can create a whole different voice for you is jaw tension. And jaw and tongue usually kind of go together, which also affects the quality of your tone and your ability to control your voice. It can make it so that you're flat more often. Both types of tension will create flat singing as well. So with jaw tension, we want to make sure that we are aware of whether or not we are overstretching, for instance, our jaw. So if you're overstretching your jaw, maybe to really get a big ah, or a really big sound, and I'm just going to really open my mouth because I've seen other singers really open their mouths. Well, that depends on your bone structure. Your bone structure determines what your jaw should be doing and how wide your jaw should be while you sing. Sometimes you'll see somebody doing a really stretched vowel and you think that's what I need to do to sound like them, but that might just be what they need to do to create that sound. What we want to do is find where the dumb jaw lives. And I call it dumb jaw because you kind of look dumb when you do it. When I just drop my jaw without trying. I should not be going past dumb jaw unless I'm going to like the top of my range and trying to sing something. But outside of that, that's as wide as my ooh should ever be. If you're starting to feel yourself push, you're creating tension with your jaw. But see how much of your tone and how much of the vowels you can create without overstretching your jaw. We also want to go in front of a mirror and make sure that we're not jutting our jaw forward. Sometimes people with tension will push the jaw slightly forward to try to create tones and sounds. And then we want to try to pull her back and let her sit comfortably in that dumb jaw place. And another way you'll notice some jaw tension is if you are muscling your vibrato. If you're trying to create vibrato because maybe you don't think you have any or you can't seem to access your vibrato, when we try to muscle vibrato, you'll start to see a lot of jiggling in your jaw. You'll see a lot of tension and a lot of movement in the jaw that goes along with that vibrato, which tells you you're muscling it, most likely. You might have to learn to sing without vibrato because you don't hear it, but there's a chance you probably have it, you just don't hear it, but you might have to learn how to sing without it just so you can get back to singing in a healthy place and then let that vibrato come in naturally. Because in my experience, vibrato is a natural response to the most relaxed singing. The less tension, the more you'll start to hear that come in. So as I've said a million times now, we want to make sure we get in front of a mirror and practice to make sure that we're seeing the truth about what our jaw is doing and practicing relaxing. But also you can massage your jaw to also help relax the jaw and remove tension. One of the things I'll do is massage the hinge of my jaw, which is the temporomandibular joint. I believe that's how you say it. But you want to put maybe 2 fingers here and I'll press in and just kind of do circles forward and circles backward, massage in that wonderful hinge of my jaw. And then I'll also massage down the length of my jaw using the heel of my thumb. And you'll feel freer. You'll feel freer as you move your mouth. You'll feel freer as you sing. Tip number 4, warm up always. I've talked about warming up a million times because it is so necessary, but so many singers do not like doing it. I get it. Warming up is not the most fun activity. It can feel maybe tedious or even boring, but it is how you are able to use your voice at its max ability. It's the way you know that you're using your voice in a healthy way. It's the way you know that you're able to actually use your entire range. There's whole chunks of your voice you won't have access to if you haven't warmed up. And it will feel more difficult to try to go to certain notes because you're not warm. It will trick you into thinking, oh, I just don't have those notes. No, you just haven't warmed into them. You need to warm up. I preach the gospel of warming up all the time, especially for new singers, especially as you are growing in your technique. You probably don't even fully know what your voice can do if you've never warmed up and if you don't regularly warm up. So please, please, please warm up. It is also a safety thing. It's going to keep you safe as you sing. If you try to use your voice in certain ways when you have not warmed up, it's like running without warming up your ankles. Like you are going to harm yourself possibly because there's no mobility in certain areas because you haven't warmed up. There's no blood circulating to certain areas because you haven't warmed up. So the muscle isn't ready to be used and activated actively like you need to use it to sing. I call singers often vocal athletes. And it's because in order to use your voice the way we use our voices to sing, it is an athletic practice with your vocal folds. And so imagine doing anything athletic without warming up. So remember, as a vocal athlete, that you do need to warm up the muscle before you use it. It will feel like your voice has gotten better in 5 minutes. And it's simply because you just warmed up. And our final tip, tip number 5, practice. Have I said practice yet? Practice. In order to make any of these new techniques known to your voice, you have to practice them. It's not something that you're just going to get because you intellectually understand it. Yes, you probably already get what I'm saying. All these things make sense, but how do I then make it the way I sing? It has to be practiced. Essentially, you've been practicing the unhealthy stuff way longer. You've been singing with a shallow breath more than you've been singing with a deep breath the majority of your life. You speak with a shallow breath. So yeah, you have to practice these things because you are going up against the way you use your voice every day. It's necessary and it's effective. You will feel and see a difference rather quickly when you start practicing. But you have to start practicing to see that. When you start practicing and you feel and see the progress you get from practice, it makes it a lot easier to continue practicing. And another quick tip with practicing is that you have to actually make time for it. For most of the people watching this, I'm sure you're all adults with busy lives and lots of stuff to do, lots of scheduling that you're already dealing with. So why would we assume that we will suddenly find the time to practice randomly out of nowhere? Like, I'll catch an hour someday and be able to practice. No, you won't. Even me who sings for a living, no, you won't. You need to make the time. You have to set aside the time. You have to make it purposeful. Then you have to pay attention to your progress. Because if you're not paying attention, then you won't know that you're progressing. And if you don't think you're progressing, then this practicing thing really does feel tedious. It really will feel like I'm just going through the motions. And unfortunately, at that point, you probably are. You want to make sure that you are paying attention to how much time you're spending, what you're doing during that time, and how you're progressing through that time. All right, so that's it. If you incorporate all of these tips in your singing, I promise you, you will start to see a difference and feel improvement rather quickly, if not immediately. And lastly, I just want to encourage you to have grace. I want you to have the grace with yourself to let yourself make mistakes and figure things out as you grow. You have to fail a little bit. You have to make ugly sounds a lot. If you heard me practicing, ooh, be aware and be graceful with yourself. Be kind to yourself. And let's do this. So thank you for swinging by and staying till the end. If you're still here, oh, thank you. And if you are still here, please like and subscribe. And let me know if you try these techniques and if any of them actually help. I would love to hear from you.